Hi everybody, welcome back to Wholeness Campaign. I used to work at McDonald's, you guys. I used to work at McDonald's. Yep, I was there taking orders, filling orders, packing bags, working the drive-thru with my little headset. And today I want to share with you my story because I think it's kind of interesting, especially from a gut health perspective, and why I will never eat there again, especially now that I've recovered from so many different gut-related issues. Let me paint you a picture. There was something called a grease trash can, which was basically just used grease that would be accumulating on the stoves, or maybe that things were deep fried in, and it was a special trash can that was literally overflowing with burnt, crusty, disgusting looking grease. And we knew where it was. We knew never to go near it because it smelled so bad and it would stink up this entire corner of the back of the restaurant. It would kind of get to this tipping point. I never knew really who dealt with this grease trash can. God bless whoever did. There were flies, there were bugs. It was like attractive to the most vile looking creatures. It was disgusting. All of that was just approximately 6 to 8 feet next to the grill that was actually cooking all of the food that we were serving. I remember seeing this burnt looking oil, which I now know is hydrolyzed seed oils, which are some of the worst, most toxic things that you could ever have in your health, which actually used to be used as engine lubricant before it was, a common household staple. But McDonald's unfortunately uses this over and over and over again. And the sad part about this is McDonald's actually used to use beef tallow to fry all of their food with. It would have been the thing that you were cooking your fries with, that the burgers were cooked with, anything that would have been cooked, McDonald's would have been using beef tallow, which is, as we know, a very healthy animal fat that you actually want to be incorporating into your diet. Somebody convinced McDonald's a while ago that they needed to switch because they thought that the beef tallow would have been the cause of the increase of heart disease. That was a lie. But in comes this toxic processed seed oils, and let me tell you guys, it looks as toxic as it is. Like, it doesn't look like anything you would want to consume. But really, everything at McDonald's is prepackaged. Nothing was really made fresh in-house, despite all of the greenwash marketing that you would see. Even the healthy options like wraps and salads had dressings or sauces on them that were filled with seed oils, canola oil, soybean oil, and various different types of sugar, including lots of high fructose corn syrup. Even the lettuce just looked pretty much dead, and now I know that it was probably very pesticide ridden. It was made in mass scale, and so it would have been the cheapest of the cheap. I actually remember learning that these ingredients in and of themselves are like worth less than a penny, and that was, back when I was working there, so inflation's happened a lot since then. But even given the fact that it was very cheap, it was cheap for a reason, because it was mass manufactured in bulk in facilities that are not having your health at the forefront. I will just say that it's going to have profit at the forefront because McDonald's is so successful. That is part of what you actually have to look at, is why are they successful? And it turns out they're extremely profit driven, which is like that with many of the fast food restaurants and probably most restaurants that we know nowadays, because most of them cook in canola oils, seed oils, all that type of stuff. But that being said, the ingredient labels on the foods, because everything was prepackaged and pre-portioned, you would know exactly what was in them. The ingredient labels were so extremely long, and the sad part is they didn't used to be this way. But instead of having 3 ingredients, which is really what something like a burger should have in it, it would have paragraphs of ingredients, and none of them were recognizable. None of them were things that you would want anywhere near your body, and turns out a lot of them are extremely damaging to the gut lining, which I talk about a lot here on my channel. So between the corn syrups, the hydrogenated oils, and the sugar replacements, they even highly process the salt that they use. So it's essentially stripped of all its natural minerals. We end up with this concoction of things that actually I wouldn't even consider to be food, and I wouldn't go anywhere near with a 10-foot pole if you are on a healing journey trying to recover from long-term chronic illness. Every single day I would watch like the same people come back to McDonald's. They would come back through the drive-thru every single day, and they were regulars, most of them. And actually, I'm fairly certain that I've seen several people in the same situation where McDonald's wrappers, because they were so regular, would be just thrown in the back seat of their car, piling so high all the way to the top of the ceiling of the car that if you opened the car door, you knew that all of these wrappers were just gonna come pouring out like a massive avalanche of McDonald's wrappers. This person in particular was very obese, could barely get out of her car, was struggling that badly. And it honestly broke my heart. And this is kind of where I've started seeing how food impacts the health of people firsthand, and not just the physical health of people, because we know that McDonald's isn't healthy for your physical body, but really seeing how it's impacting your mental health. Like, nobody in their right mental mind is going to be having all of the McDonald's trash from the last like 10 years, maybe even just like 1 month, piled high in the backseat of their car. All these highly processed foods that are laden with so many different ingredients create inflammation in the body. They cause gut dysbiosis because they really are not recognizable. They're not real food. Your body doesn't even know what to do with it. It's that fake and processed. Along with creating a host of gut-related symptoms, you're seeing inflammation go throughout the entire body and even into the brain because of how linked the gut microbiome is to your brain. So I know this because I've seen it. And the reality is, when you start to kind of wake up to the fact that these major corporations don't actually have your best interest in mind, it's going to become more apparent that you don't actually want to be not only eating the food, but supporting the type of profit that they're gaining. They're gaining profit off of the backs of people damaging their bodies and their mental health. So fast food like McDonald's is a recipe for gut issues. Most people will have one little bit of it and have to run to the bathroom, and literally that's essentially your body's detox response. It is interpreting it as a toxin. It can't keep it in your body, and it's going to try to get it out of your body as fast as possible, which is why you see things like diarrhea very common after you have something like a McDonald's. It's actually not your body's fault. It's not your body intolerant to McDonald's. It's the fact that what you're consuming is not food, and your body is doing exactly what it should do when it encounters some type of invader like a fake food like McDonald's. So the toxic ingredients in McDonald's food disrupt the balance of your gut bacteria because there are so many different things hidden in the foods that your body just literally cannot absorb the nutrients, if there are any nutrients. And again, it leads to a host of health issues, leaky gut, which then can trigger the immune system and cause these long-term chronic illnesses. Sugar has a particularly damaging effect on the gut, not only because it's processed and does damage to the beneficial bacteria, but also because it feeds yeast. And so anything there that, whether it be gluten that processes as sugar in the body, or just the straight sugar, which all of milkshakes are pretty much filled with like a year's worth of sugar in various forms, these will feed the pathogenic microbes that then become way out of balance and are actually at the root of the chronic health symptoms that you may be experiencing. Once I understood this, I couldn't look at McDonald's the same again, and my journey to healing my gut has taught me that everything that I eat should be going to nourish and heal me, not moving me in the opposite direction. So that's why I will never eat a McDonald's burger again. I probably will never eat anything from there again. You just can't unsee some things, you guys. I hope my story makes you think twice about the food choices that you make. Truly, your mental health is so interconnected with your gut health. Your gut makes 90 to 95% of your serotonin. And so you really want to be supporting that so that you can actually experience life the way that you were supposed to. That's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about gut health. And if you too are trying to heal your gut, if you recognize that you have chronic symptoms that are impairing your quality of life, I made a free quick guide to gut health, which is linked in the description box below, which has 10 of my best tips for improving your gut health and conquering those chronic symptoms naturally. Let me know in the comments, have you ever worked for a fast food restaurant, and what was the craziest thing you ever saw? Because I know some other chains out there are just as crazy, if not worse. And subscribe to my channel for more gut health, detoxification, and non-toxic living tips. Thanks for watching.